G'day everyone, it's Alistair from Map Gear with you once again. Today I'm here with my long-time industry companion Lee Helen from Kurloo. And Lee has developed an amazing deformation monitoring solution. And today we're just going to understand a little bit more about this product. It's the first time I've seen this in person and it is hot off the shelf. Lee, who are the customers that you've developed this product for?
Al, the customers we've developed for this product for are geotechnical engineers who want to know how ground surfaces are moving. It's asset managers, people that are wanting to know the stability of their structures. So if you're responsible for a dam or a highway or a critical building or a piece of important plant, Kurloo will help you understand how that piece of infrastructure is moving. It's ideal for mining industry, wanting to know the stability of their mining operations, their tailings dams, pit walls, all those types of things. So it's extremely versatile bit of technology, very simple to deploy and operate.
Now I understand firstly that this is designed and built here in Australia.
That's correct.
And Lee's told me that this is 100% recyclable. And like we all know about e-waste and everything, so I'm fascinated. Lee, what sort of design considerations did you have to take into account to achieve that outcome?
We look for hard plastic components that can be reused. Certainly also with our battery systems, the batteries that we use are recyclable 12-volt batteries. So once you've finished with Kurloo, it certainly doesn't end up in landfill. It comes back to us. We can repurpose the units, refit the units as required.
Now Lee, the first thing I did when I rocked up to your booth and you weren't around is I had a look underneath for an external power input and I couldn't find one. So we've got a solar panel, and are you serious? That solar panel runs this whole unit all the time. And despite the periods of very cloudy weather that we can get in our Queensland mining communities, this is going to continuously operate and give us that certainty that we need that our operations are safe.
That's correct, Al. So we've designed the product specifically around its battery consumption to last up to 3 weeks without charge. It weighs about 1.3 kilograms.
It's not heavy.
The whole premise of our system was to make it as simple as possible for anyone to operate and install Kurloo, and I think that's one of the benefits. Kurloo is unrivaled in terms of its precision.
What sort of precision are we talking about?
Yeah, Kurloo can position itself every day down to an accuracy within 2 to 3 millimetres on a daily cycle. And of course, that goes also with our Kurloo Nest platform, which allows you automatically, takes the data that appears in Kurloo and serves it straight up via a web service to the Kurloo Nest that can then, from there you can very simply create alerts, send you a message when a certain structure is moved by a certain amount.
So I imagine, like a lot of deformation monitoring applications, you've got a certain window within which you will have acceptable, diurnal movement or seasonal movement, and when things move outside of that window, or when the rate of movement exceeds the longitudinal rate, then there are alerts that you can configure to be triggered.
Traditionally, it's quite cost prohibitive and complex to get daily measurements at that precision, and that's why we invented Kurloo. We invented it to make precise positioning more accessible than ever before.
Pretty rugged?
Absolutely. We've been through 4 different prototypes to get us to this point in time. Battery level, solar gain, all those types of things are remotely communicated to us every hour. So it ensures a really good quality of product.
Now, I asked Lee earlier what this big black aerial was antenna hanging off the bottom of his unit, and it's the LTE antenna. So that hooks up to 4G, 3G networks, and it allows this unit to communicate onto the internet. So is this designed for sites that have internet communications? What happens for remote sites?
So for remote sites, we're just evolving at the moment. Our next model coming out in January will have a Wi-Fi type communications. So what that will do is then it will communicate between devices back to a point on your site. That site can either have an LTE range, or it can hook into a wired internet connection within your building or within your site. And obviously in extreme sites where there is no communications, that Wi-Fi network can feed back into a satellite gateway.
We know that some of our mining environments are pretty dusty, dirty places. How has the design been influenced by consideration of trying to keep that solar panel clean?
The cover here is built from a special acrylic which has a non-static factor, which makes it less prone to acquiring dust.
Yep. When people are using this to monitor deformation, Lee, Do they just stick one on their damn wall? How does it work?
We've got an example here of a vandal-proof bracket that can simply be fixed to a standard 70mm fence post. But the other way you can mount the device is there's a 5/8 thread underneath the unit. An installation can take anywhere between 10 minutes to 30 minutes depending on the type of monument you want to mount it to. The unit's also got an intelligent ground distance sensor built into the bottom.
Right.
So Kurloo will actually detect changes in the ground level surface as well, and this is very useful for consolidated settlement and other types of applications.
So Lee, I have another company, Mango's Mapping, as you well know, and we have a number of customers that are working in tailings dams environments, building them, rehabilitating them. What's your business model? How do people get hold of this stuff? Do they buy it? Is it like deformation monitoring as a service, or how does it work?
Correct, yeah. So what we offer is what we call hardware as a service business model, where Kurloo guarantees that device for a term. So what you do is you can come to Kurloo. We offer that model as 3 months as a minimum.
Yep.
We will actually support both the hardware and software for that period for you. So it's a really good low risk pricing model for the consumer, in that they have a guaranteed device. And the other benefit is, of course, once we bring out the new version of Kurloo's, which we have in the market, you'll automatically qualify for the new upgrades. So with that, there should be new features. The new features we're looking at releasing in the next 12 months are around our communications. We're also looking at doing some edge processing on the device to allow us to measure even more frequently. So at the moment, Kurloo's natively measures once a day, but we're hoping that in the years ahead that we'll be able to refine that so you could have the choice of getting multiple readings per day, and that's much more advantageous for some applications.
Indeed it is. Well, I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, thanks.